Let me say at the outset of this tape, continuing on vocal colors, one cannot achieve these colors at the outset of his vocal study until he has mastered a great deal of the vocal technique which we have given in the foregoing tapes on components of singing, where we have stressed the areas of body alignment, breath support, oral cavity development, jaw and tongue coordination. It will not be possible for you to be able to sing all the different colors until the coordination of all of these skills is accomplished. Today we are going to begin with the pant roll. We call these pant rolls because they are usually sung by a lower voice, a mezzo voice. They were written back in the early days of Rossini, up through the time of Strauss, actually. And the reason they're called pant rolls is because the female is portraying the character of a male. We're going to start this first pant roll today with Diana Davidson, a mezzo coloratura, who is finishing her master's degree here at the university, and she will be singing the Insi Barbara. She is going to be accompanied at the piano by Daniel Greenbush. May I say here that an accompanist may make or break a singer. We have been so fortunate in having with us Daniel Greenbush throughout all of these tapes. Now back to the pant roll. Diana, I want you to tell me just briefly what this roll is about.
Well, this is the role of Arsace, who is the prince of Assyria. And this aria follows just after he has been informed by a good friend that his mother murdered his father in order to assume the throne. And in the aria he expresses his grief and also his vow to avenge his father's murder.
Now at the beginning of this aria, it's the coloratura part that I want you to be watching. And I want to ask you, Diana, how did you get the coloratura part down in that lower range of the voice to be articulated?
Well, we worked on two exercises that involved the upper lip. The first was what we call the rolled lip ningy, and it goes ningy, ningy, ning. And the second one was the pre, which you have talked about so often on previous tapes. It goes pre.
You can see all of these muscles working here. All right? Okay, now let's begin with the coloratura part of the aria.
In si barbara sciagura m'apri tu le braccia almeno lasciati ch'io versi in seno il mio pianto, il mio pianto, il mio dolor.
Let me tell you that if you do not have that upper lip involved with the strength, you feel like there's something up underneath there that's working. And that's what makes click, 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 those tones going right on. Now I want you to go to the end of the opera because this is not coloratura, it involves the whole body. Particularly when she goes up to the top dramatic part of the aria, I want you to watch two different spots with her. This little muscle that goes right over the bridge of the nose when she goes to the top of the range, and the feeling feels like it goes clear to the temple. It starts there. It's a feeling of a pull-up. And when she goes up there on the top of the range. That's what opens up that wonderful top. And I want you also to watch how her legs, the whole body gets right under that tone as she goes up to the climax of that aria. There's a feeling of a squareness, right, all across the whole mask and the jaw and here. It's just square feeling as she goes up to the top of the range. Okay.
Di gioia amore, felice corri ritornerà. Sì, felice corri ritornerà. Ritornerà, ritornerà, ritornerà. Ritornerà, ritornerà,
Believe me, that top tone would not have popped in if she had had stiff knees. Just try it sometime yourself. The thing that we have used consistently in getting this breath control and breath support is that exercise. It's on the other tapes. And the circle arm breath, which is on the other tapes. One place that these exercises particularly come into good play is with our next singer, a tenor, Dave Kaler. And he is going to sing one of the most difficult spots, I think, that was ever written for a tenor in the operatic literature, Il mio tesoro. Now he has two colors in this again. He has one of vengefulness at the beginning of that long, long phrase, which is very dynamic. And then at the end of that phrase, you will hear him just taper off into the most lovely, tender quality of a tone. It's a decided different color that he gets at the very end of that big, long run. Okay, Dave? Watch his legs.
Ditele che I suoi torti a vendicare io vado, a vendicare io vado, che sol distragge I morti, non sia voglio tornar, non sia voglio tornar, sì, non sia voglio tornar. Il mio tesoro intanto.
Bravo. I always just hold my breath until I hear the tenor sail through that and then sail on through that next spot in the next phrase. Great. All right, now, David, I'm going to ask you to do a part of the Verdi Requiem, which is another color entirely from what we've just done. It is a balanced tone, what I call a balanced tone, one with warmth and has great dynamics. The first part of that aria is the dolce, which is sweet and lovely, and then you will come into the end of the aria, which is a very majestic tone, which takes all of the balance that we keep talking about in the tone. All right, what do I mean about balanced tone? I'm talking about the balance back in the back of the oral cavity, in the pharyngeal area, back in the throat, the soft palate. We never sing back there. I want to emphasize this. We get that strength back there by those little K exercises, kick, K, kick, K, key, and so on, that we've had on the other tapes. That is the thing that works on that back part. In the front part, we get by the pre, 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 and the ming, ming, ming. And when you get the pull-ups in the front and the back pull-ups together, then is when you get the balanced tone. They're all hooked up together. And that's what he's going to be using as he sings this great aria from the Verdi Requiem.
Presta et avedis me sequestra interrobes locum presta et avedis me sequestra statuens statuens in parte extra.
All right, the whole body was involved at that time, just as was a moment ago with Diana. You could see his legs getting right under the... You cannot sing those big dramatic top tones with the knees locked. It just doesn't go nearly as easily, right?
Right.
All right. Okay, now another color that I want him to use and show you how we get it is the head voice. This is still in the Verdi Requiem. What is the head voice? The head voice is working from here, back, and up. You just feel it floating through that area. You do not feel it with the chest area coming in at all. This is out of the picture. The breast support is still there. The legs are still there. Sometimes you have to support even more with a piano tone or a head tone, I prefer to call it, than a big dramatic tone. So please do the Osias, okay? Color. Thank you very much, Dave. Now the next color I want to show you is one for character role. This is also very important. We're going to use the one of the witch in Hansel and Gretel, and Diana Davidson is going to illustrate it again for us. Diana, how did we find the place for this color to be made?
Okay, we use an exercise called a mio, and you hold your nose and you go mio, yo, 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 like that.
All right. You notice she did it 2 different ways. I always have it this way. The first is always right in the nose and then open the space. I've opened up the space in the back for the last, and the first one is right here. That is for the character role of the witch in Hansel and Gretel. All right, Diana.
But first with Gretel I'll begin. Of you, dear Gretel, I will dine. You're so tender, plump, and good. Just the thing for witches' food.
Thank you. Now, sometimes a conductor will say, I want a nastier tone than that. That's too nice. particularly when we come into the witches in Dido and Aeneas. I want you to do one of those spots in witches that in the witch part of the Dido. Now we worked with the pre. Sing that exercise for me. I want you to watch what's happening here. Right here, all right. Pre. That is involving all of these muscles up here, which she's going to have to use, all right? And then the mio again.
Yes.
The same thing there. All right. Do the witch in Dido, okay? This is a real nasty one, okay?
Wayward sisters, you that frighten the lonely traveler by night, who like dismal ravens crying beat the windows of the dying, appear at my call.
All right, thank you, Diana. Did you feel anything in your throat?
Nothing whatsoever.
That's right. You never will when you're working up here with these character roles. Now, people sometimes say that opera in English is very difficult. I disagree with them 100%. And I think we have to still keep pushing here in America to get our operas sung in English. I'm going to ask Diana to do a part of Carmen, and I wish her to do it in English. I want her first to do just the color of her Carmen is rather enticing and happy, okay?
La 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 la
Now will you do the one where she's very angry with her lover? Mm-hmm. All right. How are you going to change it?
Okay, for this, for the angrier tone, I concentrated more into the nasal mask area, so it's a more intense tone. It has less warmth to it.
That's the reason it has less warmth, because
Right.
you've cut the back spaces out. You're all right in there.
Right.
Okay, all right, now.
How could I be so stupid? Oh, how could I be so stupid? I took no end of pains. I tried my very best, my very, very best to entertain my guest. So I sang and I danced, thinking, may God forgive me, I was almost in love. Da-ra-ta-ta, he hears that blasted bugle. Da-ra-ta-ta, dear me, and off he goes back to camp. Stupid fool, here, take your belt, your saber, and your helmet, and go back to your camp, my boy. Hurry back to your quarters.
You don't feel anything in your throat, do you?
No.
It's all out here, people. That's where it's all happening. All right. You see, it is a mixture. You heard her mix the colors there when she was doing both very vividly, and you saw what she was doing. Okay, now, Ellison Glatley has just finished his master's degree here at the university, and I wish him to sing part of the Mussorgsky's Songs and Dances of Death, illustrating 3 different colors: the narrator, death, and the mother. Let me ask you, how are you going to do this? How are you going to get these 3 different colors, Ellison?
Well, the first thing that enters my mind is the mental aspect of it. I try to concentrate very heavily on each part and each voice as I come to it. For instance, the narrator, I try to keep my voice right in the middle part of the range, just my normal Sunday church hymn singing voice. And for the death, I think of it a little bit wider, a little bit back farther, a little bit darker, but still at the same time keeping my body involved very much so, and it's still front even though I think back a little bit as far as darkness.
You open up the back.
Open up. I make it a lot wider.
You never sing back there. Right. All right. Make very careful about this statement. I'm very persnickety about this. You have to really, you think that's absolutely so, what you said. All right, excuse me. Go ahead. Now, what about the mother?
For the mother, it's more of a very bright, almost a nasal sound, similar to what Diana was doing a while back, in that I aim the voice, or I think of it very much front, very much on the hard palate, the nasal cavity, and the tip of my teeth and the tip of my nose, and right up in here.
All right, fine. You said something that I want to pick up right quickly here. You said, I think of the
character.
The character. This is terribly important. But you can think until you are blue in the face, and if you do not know the musculature that is going to take over to bring that color into the role or the character, it just won't happen. And this is why I'm trying to be very specific with all of you and letting you show how you get these different colors. All right, now, thank you.
Death the deliverer, silently stealing, taps at the outer door. Hark! Desperate she turns to him, mute and appealing. Don't be afraid when I knock. Dawn is returning, the night light is paling. Watching and weeping so long, you must be weary. Your vigil is failing. Sleep, I will sing him my song. Your voice is tense with fear. See, he is crying. Mine is more soothing in tone. Quiet, he breaks my heart, helpless there dying. Such despair I never have known. Leave him to me, I will silence his crying. Hush-a-bye, baby, my own. Now he is whiter, no longer complaining, so still not even a moan. That is a sign that his fever is waning. Hush-a-bye, baby, my own.
There was one other thing that we didn't speak about, which you did without me saying anything about it, which I'm very pleased. That last tone, when you went down there, you felt a tremendous strength right across the chest. And when you're down in the lower range, that chest bone just feels like it comes right up under you, and you feel like you're on a solid rock foundation as far as the tone is concerned. Thank you very much. Sure. Now I want you to do a little bit of the Brahms 4 serious songs. I want you to go to the one spot where you use all head voice, and I want you to tell me, how did you find this head voice that we were speaking of?
Well, I used an exercise that you gave me, the NG, the and also the
You see here how wide his face is as he's doing that? You feel like the tone is riding right across there, inside, don't you?
Yes, it's from here on up.
Here on up. And it's, just as I said a moment ago, it has nothing to do with this down here. It's all right up here. All right, go into the Brahms. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much, Ellison.
You're welcome.
Now I want to go back to Carmen, and I want Diana and Dave to come, and I want them to do the final part in the final duet where he is so angry at her he's going to kill her. And she is also very angry at him. This is done right in the teeth at the beginning of this duet. Then you will hear a break in the music where the chorus is supposed to come in, and we will jump into the part where after he has killed Carmen, the remorse settles in upon him, and you will hear a much warmer tone there. By mixing of all the colors, the others are right here in his teeth. Both of them are right in the teeth at the beginning of the duet.
Ainsi la salie de mon âme, je l'aurais perdu pour que toi, pour que tu t'en ailles infâme entre ses bras rire de moi. Non pas le sang, tu n'iras pas, Carmen, c'est moi que tu suivras.
Non, non, jamais.
Je suis là de te menacer.
Eh bien, frappez-moi donc, ou laisse-moi passer.
Pour la dernière fois, démon, vous devez me suivre.
Non, non, c'était ma contrefois. Tu me l'avais donné. Tiens!
Eh bien, damné. Vous pouvez m'arrêter. C'est moi qui l'ai tué. Ah, Carmen, ma Carmen adorée.
Thank you both very much. Now I want Diana to stay and sing just a little bit of the Samson and Delilah aria, the one where she is hating Samson. It is tremendously dynamic. And how do you feel that you get this color that you want for this hate, Diana?
Again, it's the concentration into this area rather than thinking of the heady sound, which involves letting the sound go up and over the back of the soft palate. This is a concentration into the front of the face.
And at the front of the face, and you still keep a lot of the space open in the back, though.
Oh, yes.
To get the fullness.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Diana. Another color that you've heard. Now I wish Jane Howell, who is a senior here at the university, is going to sing one of the Brahms songs, and there's three characters. There are three characters in this song, and I want to break it up again to get just the different colors, and I want you to tell us about the song very briefly and what the colors are going to be.
Okay. There are three basic colors. We have the narrator with a basic tone, which is a mixed tone. There's kind of my basic singing voice. And then there's the voice of his girlfriend, which is a head voice, betraying him. He's overhearing this. And then there's his response, which is anger and indignation, which is a larger tone placed on the teeth with the back very open.
All right.
Okay.
Die Linde stand vor Liebchens Haus, die Türe hält ich knarren. Meine Schatzli sagt ein Mannsbild raus, lass morgen mich nicht harren, lass mich nicht harren, süßer Mann, wie hab ich dich so gerne, ans Fenster klopfe leise an. Mein Schatz ist in der Ferne, ja ferne. Der Mond schien hell, der Rasen grün, ist gut zu unserem Begegnen. Du trägst ein Schwert und nix so kühn, deine Liebschaft will ich segnen. Deine Liebschaft will ich segnen. Ja, segnen.
It's a shame to have to cut this up like we do. And believe me, you people who are singers know that it's 10 times more difficult to start in the middle of a phrase or a middle of a song than it is to get the whole thing on one whole. And I want to also say that you will notice that all of these singers on these 2 tapes that we've done on colors, they're all in their early 20s down to the early 30s. And they're just doing some very great work. And I'm trying to show the way as we go along. Now, we are going to save the belting for a separate tape we are going to be doing on Broadway shows. And it's a very important thing that you know how to do that belting tone, believe me, if you're going to go into a Broadway show. So don't miss that tape on the Broadway shows. Today I want to review very quickly what we've done now in colors, and I hope as you think about them, you will think, yes, that's right. That's exactly what they did. We had sarcasm, we had hate, we had nastiness, and how did we get those colors? We got it through that meow-ee-ow-ee-ow-ee-ow-ee-ow, ee-ow-ee-ow-ee-ow-ee-ow. That's where it's all about, right through there. We had the warmth and the sweetness, which we call the balance tone, which we took in the back of the throat area, the nasopharynx area, and we had the head tone, which took in just from here up, and we tried to explain as we went along how we got those spots in. Then we had that dark tone of death, and yet it was a pleading tone. He was not an angry death tone at all. It's a pleading tone that he has there, so therefore it's warm. It feels like its back is open more, but you don't ever sing back there. You always feel like you're singing out here, but you open up the spaces back there and keep the tone front. It's a wonderful feeling of accomplishment when one is able to use these different colors when he wishes them and knows how he goes about to get them. It's a musculature combination from the toes of your feet through the legs, through the abdominal area, through the chest area, and on up into this oral cavity area, into the nasopharynx, into the teeth. And when you are able to cut different parts of those cavities out to get the different colors that your brain says that you want. It's just fun. It's great fun. Now, in conclusion, a word of warning, please, I would like to give. I wish to say that if one becomes so emotionally involved in the role that he is singing or in the song that he is singing, he won't make it through the opera or the song. Did you ever try to sing right after you've cried or right after you were terribly angry? You can't. The throat is locked. Therefore, you must be very, very careful that you do not let that emotion get ahead of the voice. That is why one must know the technique to get these colors and express the emotions through the technique and the dynamics.